Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is our Power BI user group, our POG, Power BI user group for Lagos, Nigeria. And you're welcome to another of our monthly webinars. We do this every third Thursday of the month. Great. So this is Power BI. Now, I know quite a lot of you, of course, know about Power BI, but I want to just go back to basics, right? So Power BI, what exactly is this Power BI? I'm going to start again from Excel because Excel is where everything was born. So this is my Excel screen. Yeah, so this is my Excel screen. This is the good old Excel you know, but it's what you think you know in Excel because Excel has really grown. So Power BI was born in Excel around 2010. So around 2010, the Excel team and the SQL team, the SQL is the database guys, so the database guys in Microsoft, decided to come together and try and solve big problems that we have working with data. And as you know, Excel is the number one data analysis and business intelligence tool worldwide. Why am I saying it's number one? Because 1 billion people use it. And I always say to people that there are three most important buttons in any software in the world. Any software has three very important buttons: OK, cancel, and export to Excel. So why do they export to Excel? Why does a BI tool have an export to Excel button? That's because Excel is such a tool that can analyze anything you want really is you're able to do in Excel. So you end up downloading data and then doing your analytics in Excel. But Excel, let's face it, is not as easy to use as some other tools. And if you look at it, I have these cells. You see, we have cells all over the place, and Excel works with cells. Excel works with cells. Basically, I have a statement I like to use in my trainings. I say, if it is not in a cell in Excel, it is not Excel. To work with Excel, you must work with a cell. So everything is cell, cell, cell. There are 17 billion cells in one sheet. 17 billion. Just one sheet. And you can have so many sheets, right? So Excel works with cells. Now, one thing is when you want to work with data, the first thing is to get the data. And in getting the data itself, it's a bit tedious to clean up the data so that it follows certain rules. So the Power BI was born with Power Pivot in Excel. So if you see up here, I have Power Pivot. So this Power Pivot is the birth of Power BI. And Power Pivot is a data model. So data model in the sense that you connect to various data sources with Power Pivot and you build something called a data model. So connecting to your data in many Excel sheets, or you're connecting to your data in CSV, then you're connecting to HR data in SAP, you're connecting to some data on the web. So that's what Power Pivot is. So if I click on Manage, for example, you would see that Power Pivot is loading, Excel is loading a tool, Power Pivot. So it's coming up. This is Power Pivot, and this is the birth of Power BI. So around 2010, this was invented, this Power Pivot. Well, this is Power Pivot. Unfortunately, it's not showing the way it should. Nothing is showing here, in fact. That's strange, very strange. By the way, guys, I have a version of Excel that is a little bit unstable. That's because I have what we call the insider version of Excel. So I have what some people will have in the next couple of years. So some people wouldn't have the features I have until the next couple of years. It's Insider, Microsoft Insider. If you Google that, you see how to join the Microsoft Insider and get the future Excel. But sometimes your system will be stable. So anyway, this is Power Pivot. Right now, Power Pivot is the tool that connects to various data sources and you build something called a data model. Yeah, we'll look at a quick data model very soon. That's Power Pivot. Now, Power Pivot uses a language. The language of Power Pivot is called DAX. DAX is Data Analysis Expressions. Another way you can call it is, you see, I'm going to write a measure. So if you look to the left here, top left, you see that this is a measure, and that's where you store your DAX code, right? In new measure and stuff. So that was Power Pivot. Then around 2013, the Excel team, also still working with the SQL team, saw that, we need another tool that will help us clean data, get data in, clean it, prepare it, extract it from wherever we want to extract it, transform the data, and then we load the data into this Power Pivot. And that tool is called Power Query. Now, Power Query Previously, if you had older versions of Excel, you would need to download Power Query. But right now, it's integrated into data. Now, when they invented Power Query and they brought it into Excel and they connected it into Excel, they called it Get and Transform Data. So this Get and Transform Data you're seeing to the left is Power Query. I am using Office 365. So Office 365, your Power Query is already integrated into data. So the data tab, you have Get and Transform. Now, for people with older versions of Excel, you would see Get External Data. This used to be Get External Data, but that has dropped off, and we now have Get and Transform. Just take note that Get and Transform is Power Query. And if you don't know Power Query, please go and learn it. It is a super tool. It will save you a lot of time. It's what you can use to do detailed reconciliation of your data. You connect to various data sources, you clean them. So next time you never need to clean it. So Power Query also has its own language and is called M. So what have I just said? I've said that there are technologies that are in Excel that formed Power BI. So the technologies are Power Pivot, right? Power Pivot, and it uses a language called DAX. Then we had Power Query, and that also used the language called M. So these tools are in your good old Excel, and this is what made up Power BI. So all this together is what made up Power BI. Also, in the early days of Power Pivot, we also had something called Power View. So Power View, and then we also had Power Maps. Yeah, but these two, you can just say, okay, Power View used an old technology called Silverlight, which we really, so I don't advise you to spend any time there. And then Power Maps have been integrated and they're now called 3D maps. This is the former Power Maps, these 3D maps you see in Excel, right, under Insert. So all these wonderful tools is what combined together to create our Power BI. So Power BI Desktop that you're looking at here, Power BI Desktop, just take it as, oh, this is like Excel, but it's Excel in a very different form. We've taken the Power Pivot, we've taken the DAX, we've taken the Power Query, we've taken the M from Excel, combined it together, and here we have Power BI Desktop. So when you see Get Data in Power BI Desktop, look at this. If I click on Get Data, so Get Data, guess what it opens? How does Power BI Desktop get data? Well, it gets data from using Power Query. So this is Power Query. This Get Data is Power Query. So if I go and look for data, say Get Data, I just clicked it on the first button. Let me show you another way to get there. We go to Home. Under Home, you see Get Data, and then you see all the different data sources you can get data from. We have Excel, we have Power BI data sets, which are online. You have Power BI data flows. Guess what? Power BI data flows, just to confuse you a little bit, Power BI data flows is actually Power Query on Azure. So Power Query online is kind of called Power BI data flow. So yeah, but that's Power Query. So this is Power Query. If I go to more, you see all the different connections to Power Query. Now, again, this is exactly the same technology I just showed you in Excel. So you have Get Data, All File, Database, Power Platform, all sorts, different things. I mean, go to Power Platform, you can connect to data sets, you can connect to data flows, Common Data Service. Common Data Service is Microsoft's way of aggregating all the data from your different sources into a common, let's say, box or compartment. So you can just go to that compartment and collect all your data. Then Azure is your cloud-based database. So this Azure, this is like Microsoft in the cloud. So my Azure SQL data warehouse, and this is the future, really. This is the future of getting data. You have your data lake storage Gen 2. This is like a really advanced technology for making connections to your data extremely fast, and it really just has loads of optimization tools that make life easy. So these are Azure. This is a database. You can connect to various databases. Now, all these databases are also available in Excel. Everything is there in Excel. Now, Power BI updates every single month. Every month, in fact, every week. We're going to go online and see a few things. Every week, Power BI updates. Excel, if you have Office 365, it also updates every month, but the cadence of updates is not as fast as Power BI. Power BI's updates are super, super, super fast. And I'll give you one or two links you can go to read up these updates, to read about these updates. Very important. So if I go to data here and I go to get data, see, this is similar, isn't it? It's very similar to what you just saw in Power BI desktop. So I go to data, I go to combine data, other sources, I go to other sources, see the other sources here, online services, see Azure as well. You can see Azure doesn't have as many connectors as you saw in the Power BI. If I come here, so this is Power BI desktop, right? I go to home, I get data, yeah, and you can see all the various data sources. So similar experience, same technology. M is the language, and you get your data. So let's see, let me get some data. Let me get some data from Excel. So I get some data from Excel. Just go to my desktop. Let's go to my desktop. Let me see, where do I get data? Data sources. Hopefully there's some, okay, this is simple historical data. Let's connect to it. So I'm connecting to an Excel file. The same way I can connect to an Excel file in Power BI desktop is the same way I can connect to it in Excel. Yeah. The big difference really between Excel and Power BI is the look and feel, the interface. So you see this interface doesn't have cells. Of course, Excel is made up of cells. This is made up of a canvas. And this canvas looks like another software. What do you think? It looks like a software you know. Yeah. So this is the data I'm connecting to, right? But before, let me just close. Before I connect to the data, this canvas, see, that's the big difference. This canvas, we're not connecting to cells. This is the interface for Excel in cells, right? But in Power BI desktop, it's a canvas. And what does this look like? It looks like another tool. It looks another tool that is everybody knows about. See this tool? This tool is really the same, and that's the beautiful thing about Power BI. It works with Excel. Power BI and Excel are kind of brother, maybe. Well, Excel is an old guy, maybe Excel is an uncle, right? And Power BI is this teenager, this very posh teenager that likes to tweet and likes to send out he's on Instagram and stuff like that, right? So so that's why I'll say Excel and Power BI, but they work very well together. Great. So while I'm opening Excel, let me just close Power BI and close this. So Power BI, as I was connecting to, I said, this looks like something. And auto recovery, I don't want to recover anything. No, remove the files. Say okay. So it's knew that my system crashed and it wants to help me recover whatever files I think I've lost. But really, I don't mind that. We don't need to. So if you look at this interface, what I want to tell you about this interface is this is looking like PowerPoint. So take Power BI, right, as Excel, those power tools in Excel, Power Pivot, Power Query, the language called DAX, and the language called M. Take it as that's the similarities between Excel. Now, and then this also has similarities with PowerPoint. So this is like PowerPoint. So in PowerPoint, I could go to, let's say I go to View, right? Or let's say go to Home. In PowerPoint, I can go to Home. Hopefully this will work. I can go to Home and let me say insert. Let me just try and insert something. Let's insert a shape, right? I insert a shape. I just draw a rectangle, right? So I'm trying to insert a shape in here. Draw a rectangle. Okay, here we go. So this is a rectangle. Now this is what you could do in PowerPoint. Now, if you see, can you see those guides? These guides were added recently. I don't know which month. A couple of months ago, they added these guides. These are excellent guides in Excel. So here, as I'm trying to place this visual, it's showing me a guide just to help me place it. So this canvas, really, just take this as your dashboard. So if I minimize these things here, this is your dashboard. So this is where your viewers will see whatever analysis you want to do, right? So this dashboard, there's something new they just brought in. In fact, yesterday, it came out yesterday. Yesterday, they brought something new, a couple of days ago, actually. And that is, in PowerPoint, you could have many of these shapes. So let's say I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste another shape here, right? Let's assume I'm going to paste another one here, and then I'll paste another one here, all right? Great. So I paste another one there. And for some reason, I need to kind of reduce the size or kind of move them around somehow. So if I want to do things in all of them at the same time, if I want to move all this at the same time, before I'll have to move them one at a time. But now they just added this. If I click on one shape, and this shape can be a chart. I can click on one shape, hold my control key, and click on these other shapes. So anyway, hold my control key, and I've selected all these three. So after holding control, I right click, and there's a new button. Oops. There's a new button now when you right click called group. So you see group and then you see group. So you just right click and there's a new button called group and you group. So this is brand new. You can group shapes. You can group all your charts and stuff. And then you can, because you've grouped them, you can carry them all as one. Look at that. You can carry them all as one. This gives you a lot of kind of a way to really, really manage your files. And look at this. I can take this group. If I take it out like this, for example, I've just expanded my group. Look at that. I've expanded. You can see that the group itself is changing. So I can move this around. I can click on a visual and move it. If I want to move the entire group, if I'm out and I want to move the entire group, I just click on one of them and drag everything out. If I want to work on just one, I click twice and then I can move this, right? So this is a really cool feature. It really helps in managing data when you create a report. So I'm going to create a quick report and see how we can use this. This is good. Now, where does this feature come from? Obviously, PowerPoint. I'm not going to attempt to open PowerPoint again. Hopefully, it won't crash my system. But this is like a PowerPoint feature, which is really good. Yeah, when you create your dashboard, you need it to look professional and beautiful. And these kind of features really help. Of course, if you want to ungroup, you right click and go to group and say on group. So on group, they're now individual and they're not grouped again, right? Right, and then of course you can change the design of each. And let's assume I change this design. I come here, and there's another feature that is kind of popular in Office, where you have your format painter. I can come here, maybe put a background, insert background. Let me put a background of, I don't know, orange or something. And click on the visual, fill background. Where's fill? General, let's fill. Okay, sorry, I should go to fill, not background. Fill, let's say fill it with green. Yeah, so I fill this with green. I can come to home, and then there's this painter here. Click on the painter and brush that, right? So all these are nice, cool tools from Microsoft Office that is flowing in here. So if you want to know what's new in Power BI, I think many of the features that are currently in Excel are gradually moving to Power BI. So there was a time that they included loads of conditional formatting. Now, conditional formatting in Excel, of course, is still more superior than Power BI, but gradually, lots of these cool features that have been in Excel for a very long time are coming into Power BI. So that's how you can think of Power BI. Think of Power BI as many things that you already know and love in Excel are coming into Power BI. So in Excel, I could go to Home, Conditional Format, Highlight Cell Rules. I have all these cell rules. So, we don't have cells in Power BI. It's more visual. It's more like a canvas. Yeah, you got all these rules are there. So that's how you should think about Power BI. Let's bring in some data. Another thing for the interface in Power BI, of course, you have your fields here. These are your fields. This is like connecting to your various data tables. To the right, you have your fields. You have your visualizations. These are all the visuals you can do reporting on. And then you have your filters. These filters help you filter your reports the way you'd like it. Maybe you don't want to see certain things, you can filter them out. Right? So these three panes are very important. And that's how you work with your canvas. So this is where the reports get created. And once you're happy with the report, Power BI Desktop is where you create your report, then you could publish it. You could publish those reports. So if I finish my report, I can come to publish. So if you look at publish here, I could go to publish. Obviously, I haven't created any report, so I can't really publish. Publish the report, and that's it. You publish it to powerbi.com. Funnily enough, in Excel, you could also publish your report from Excel to powerbi.com. Look at that, publish. So you can see publish to Power BI. So Excel and Power BI are completely linked. So you can see publish to Power BI, upload, export workbook data to Power BI, upload your workbook to Power BI. All that is cool. Now let's go to Power BI itself. So let me quickly go online. Let me go to Power BI. Let's go to the web. Let's just click come here. So on here, this is powerbi.com. So powerbi.com, business intelligence like no other. Just go to powerbi.com. And by the way, if you want to download Power BI desktop, you can also download it from here. But I advise you go to the actual Microsoft store. So you go to the store itself to download Power BI desktop, so it updates on its own. Let me show you. If you look at my interface here, when you want to know that you have the Power BI that really updates, you see Power BI, you see a blue border around your icon. So anytime you see this blue border around your icon, this is the one that is from the App Store. Yeah, it's from the App Store and it updates automatically. This is the one you must get. Please, when you're downloading Power BI Desktop, get the one that has this blue border around it from the App Store. All right, very important. So you don't need to keep updating or downloading every single month. Now, I advise you go to Learn and go to Documentation. When you go to powerbi.com, come to Learn and you see Documentation. When you click on Documentation, you can think of it like a huge user manual. This is a huge user manual for Power BI. Yeah, it's very, very detailed. And the reason user manuals should be online is because this updates nearly every single week. Power BI is updating every week, and they aggregate their updates every week and add it into Power BI, add it into like a video, or you have a video blog. So let me go to YouTube, for example. You'll see there's a video blog for Power BI. I'll just quickly get there for you. You'll see that when it comes up. So here I have Power BI for customers, Power BI for report designers, Power BI for admin, Power BI blog. Okay, good. That's the blog. Power BI for developers, guided learning. So this is the one I would like you to check out, guys. Guided learning. So let me right click and put this in a new tab, guided learning. Right. So that guided learning, how did I get there? I went to Power BI. I was in powerbi.com. Right. And then I selected, what did I select? Who remembers what I selected? Let me duplicate this and go back. Yeah. Just take something. Try and tell yourself that, look, I'm going to learn one new thing every single day on Power BI. Just one new thing. And in a year, you will be really an expert. So if you go to powerbi.com, go to Learn. You have guided learning directly, which is where I went to, guided learning, documentation, support, developer, and all this stuff. You could leave that. You could go to webinars. You see with different webinars, there are lots of webinars happening all over the world. But guided learning is super. Let me show you that. Guided learning takes you to a page where it will take you step by step on how you use Power BI. So this is guided learning. Yeah. Guided learning, you get started, get data, everything about how you get data, modeling, visualization, exploring data, Power BI and Excel. Yeah. Publishing and sharing, introduction to DAX. DAX is data analysis expressions. That's the language of Power BI. Same thing is also the language of Power Pivot in Excel. If you want to become a guru in using Power BI, you need to learn DAX. You really need to learn DAX. So get started with Power BI, 47 minutes. What's this? If I click on that, guess what? Many people like videos and stuff. You say create and use analytics reports with Power BI. So if you scroll down, you see this is a full training on Power BI. So you say, okay, I want to start. How did I get here? Reminder. I was here. You go to guided learning. How did I get here? I went to Learn. You can either go straight to guided learning or documentation. Under documentation, you see guided learning down here. Then once you click on guided learning, click on guided learning, you will see this, right? Getting started. So getting started, you have your different tools. You have getting started, of course, which I just clicked. I just clicked this. Getting data, overview of Power BI desktop, get started with Power BI desktop. Modeling, this is building your data model. How do you optimize your data model? Different minutes and stuff. Visualization, introduction to visuals, matrix, maps and stuff. Just tell yourself, right, every day, I just want to learn one thing in Power BI. Just one tiny thing. Spend 5 minutes. Once you spend 5 minutes every day, I can assure you, in a year, you'll be a guru. Yeah, you'll be a real guru. Yeah, so Power BI and Excel, introduction to using Excel data in Power BI, upload data to Power BI, import Power View and Power Pivot to Power BI, publishing in Power BI, introduction to DAX, all of this. These are excellent stuff, guys. Make sure you use it. So here we have creating and using analytics. Then you can click on the start button. This is the quick overview. And the start button, you read through. You read, and just take yourself there, reading a page a day. And that's it. Now there are some videos as well. If you go to YouTube, there's guy in a cube and other things. If you go to YouTube, just come here and type Power BI. Power BI. There's a forum. There's a user forum for it. So let's just see. Let me click on this. Okay. So Power BI. If I come to Power BI, you can see there are 161,000 subscribers. If I go to Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, you see all the videos here. So if you want to learn as well on Power BI, you can go to playlist, and there are some things aggregated for you already on the playlist. You can decide, okay, these are community webinars, you have to play all and stuff like that. We have our own webinars as well. I'll show you that briefly. But if you go to videos and you just search for something, you should be able to see loads of videos. So this is the August update. This is the August update. As I said, guys, what I showed you in the shapes, that was just came out yesterday. You can see that the August update came out yesterday. So these are the new things in Power BI in August. Yeah. As I said, it updates every single month.
And we'll start with the reporting features.
Yes.
First,
so the updated August came out just yesterday, and I of course have the latest one. How do you know if you have the latest version on your system? How do you know? Yeah. You go to File. Yeah. You go to File. Then you go to Help. Then you go to About. Once you click on About, you'll see what version you have. So if you look carefully here, I have version 2.72.5556.701 64-bit August 2019. So August, this is my update. And how did I get it? Because I got it from the app.powerbi, app.powerbi.com, right? So if I go to this app, you'd see that that's where you should go to download. This is try and get Power BI from the App Store, not from the not downloading directly here. You should try and get it from the App Store, but you have to talk to your IT to be sure that they will allow you to do that, and that's fine. So that's it. So this is the latest update, and that just came out yesterday. And the one of the cool features was what I just showed you with shapes, grouping shapes. So that's your knowledge base. You need to go online, tell yourself that you're going to learn one new thing every day. We'll learn. How do you also learn? You can also, from Power BI itself, you can go to Help. Under Help, you see various tools here. You see community training videos. Yeah, you see training videos directly. Guided learning. This is Power BI desktop directly. Guided learning is what we just saw. Documentation has full documentation on all the things you want to know about Power BI. Anything issues you have, just go to documentation. Support online, about, that's what we clicked earlier. If I click on training videos, for example, it takes me online. So there really is no excuse for not learning Power BI. Really, it has so much material. Why did it take me to training videos? It went to the same channel I showed you. That's the same channel, right? You can also go to our channels, guys. You can go to dbrownconsulting channel to also learn. Those are past webinars on Power BI. Brown Consulting. So this is our channel. Please go and subscribe. We do live webinars, live meetups and stuff, and then we have 133 videos. 133 videos. I mean, you go there, you see. So this is a webinar I think I did about data analytics, the Power BI best features of 2018. Right. So so many other videos you could go, like this is a very good one, actual versus budget. Do you guys have anything actual versus budget? You want to compare actual and budget in Power BI? This is it. Right. But then again, as I said, anything you do in Power BI, you can do in Excel. Well, I say anything, but the visuals in Power BI are better than Excel. We have to admit that. The visuals are really cool. So let's quickly create a quick report and then we'll close. Just very quick report. Let's bring in data. So I'm going to go to Home, Get Data. Guess what? This is Power Query. So I go to Excel, hopefully connect to my desktop and just grab some very quick data. So historical data, just going to grab data. Let's see. What's the data we're grabbing? I'm going to build a very simple data model. Very simple. Okay, it's taking time to come up. Bear with me, guys. All right, here we are. So this is my data. So this is the data we have, right? Let me just bring the whole thing in, okay? I'm just going to bring the whole thing in, just give you a simple report. Yeah, typically I'm supposed to build a proper data model, but let's just jump in. I'm not going to transform the data. See, there's a button here saying transform data. Interesting. They changed this to transform data. It was edit before. Just change that name. I think that's also new. Well, let's click on transform. If I click on transform data, it's going to open Power Query. Yeah, if you're sure your data is clean and fine, you don't really need to transform. You can just bring it in. So this is Power Query, the same experience as Excel, guys, the same thing. This technology is the same as Excel. In fact, to prove it to you, we're going to do a bit of transformation here. I'm going to do some little transformation. I'm going to delete one or two things. I'm going to come to region and market, and maybe I'll delete region and market. Yeah, all right, click, remove columns. So to the right here, you see the steps. As I'm doing things, the steps are written there to the right. And look at my data types. I want to check this data type is a date. This fiscal period is a date. I don't want it to be a date. I want it to be a text. Maybe just make this fiscal period text. Yeah, just want it to be text. This model is text, and this is text. This is text. And my revenue is a data type whole number. I'm going to change this data type to decimal number. So data types, I'm just saying what column, what kind of data is in each column. So let's say I'm happy with this. I can actually come to view and have a look at the code I created. See this advanced editor? So this is the code I generated. This code is M. That language called M. That's what this is. This is M, all right? So that's the code. I didn't create the code myself. All I was doing is clicking things, right? So here I can come and say close and apply. So close and apply is going to come into Power BI. I'm going to see fields to the right here. The fields are going to be available to me. And let's create a very quick report. Let's create a very nice quick report. Right. Apply query changes. Quickly apply. So it's trying to apply query changes. Right. Great. So let's create a report. I want to see how revenue has gone over the last how many years. Let's say revenue. Let me just tick this button. So if I tick this button, it's going to create an internal calendar for me, or it should anyway. Let's see. Right. Let's bring that data in. Let's say we're going to do a chart. Let's say a line chart. I want to do a line chart. And let's say line chart of the revenue. So see what I'm doing? I'm just ticking stuff. I just tick, and there we have. Because the data is fictitious data, it doesn't really make so much sense, but that's your fictitious data, right? So I'm doing a line chart of revenue. Here I have my dates. If I click on the drop down, you have all the dates, but it knows it's dates, so it's kind of aggregated it for me by month, right? Right. So this could be my visual, and I may decide I'm going to create another visual here. I'm going to use, if I look to the right, create something called a tree map. And that tree map is also going to have revenue. And this time I'm going to split that revenue by, let's see, line of business, right? Or store. Let's say line of business. So I split the revenue by line of business. So let me minimize all this. So you can see right away I've created a nice looking dashboard, right? That has my line of business and my sales, and I click on parts, for example, you see this changes. The data is fictitious, so it really looks odd all over the place, right? Service plan, printer sales. Yeah. So quickly I can slice and dice my data by anything. Another thing you can do, guys, is you can also bring visuals. If these visuals are not enough for you, you can bring custom visuals. Let me quickly bring a custom visual. You click on this tiny ellipses, this tiny three dots. Then you say import from file. That's if you have a custom visual already in the file, but really go to the marketplace, import from marketplace. If I click import from marketplace, it's going online to Microsoft's marketplace. And you're going to see a dialog box come up very soon, in a few seconds. Then in this marketplace, you could choose from many, many, many wonderful visuals. I need another line chart. Like I'm going to just type a line here. I'm going to type line. I want to tell a story with my data. So I'm going to type line and click just enter or search. Which other line visual should we use? Let me see. See all these custom visuals on lines? Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think I like Pulse. I remember the Pulse chart. Pulse chart is a very cool storytelling chart. If I click on this Pulse chart, I can add, see this? So this is a Pulse chart. What's a Pulse chart? You're going to see it soon. It just tells a story about how things have, how the data moves over time, right? So let's add it. So I'm going to add. So if you look to the right here, it's going to add this new visual to the right. Now, this is something Excel has the ability to do this, but Excel's visuals are not as good as Power BI. Power BI is a top visualization tool. The technology is the same with Excel, but of course the visuals are a bit different. So see the visuals down here. So these are your custom visuals, separate section. So if I click on this custom visual, let's see what we can do with this. I am going to include timestamp. Let's say timestamp is this. Trade date. Let's take on revenue. And okay, this is quite large. Ugh, ugly looking thing. So, and let's see. So if I click on the play button here, see, click on play. It's a lot. It's just now. The nice thing about this is, let me pause. If I had maybe a description of what happened at certain points in time in my data, I could integrate it with this, but I don't have the time to show you that. But I could integrate it with this, and as this thing is kind of drawing something, you could stop at a point and tell me what happened at that point. Then it continues to draw more, and then stops, and then tells me what happened in a visual, maybe text form. So this is you showing what happened. You're just playing, playing a recorder, and it's playing what's going on. Oh, how's the stock market doing, kind of stuff. And look at it, it's drawing it. So this is a custom visual. You really can do this in Excel, but Excel is the same technology. So if I go to modeling, if you remember, we brought in data. So I'm going to go to home. I'm going to go to edit query. Edit query is going to open that Power Query interface, yeah, in Power BI. So this is Power Query. I'm going to go to View, and then I'm going to come to under View. I'm going to Advanced Editor. Why am I coming here? I want to copy the code. This is the M code. This is the code that brought in that data. I'm just going to copy it, right? Just going to copy it, and I'll close this Power Query. Yeah. So I'm back to my Power BI. Then I'm going to open Excel. So now I'm in Excel, and I'm going to go to data in Excel and try and get data as well in Excel. And this time from other sources, I am not connecting to Excel or anything. I'm just going to go to a blank query right down at the bottom, a blank query. So this is also going to open Power Query in Excel. And Power Query in Excel is called Get and Transform Data. I can see not responding. Please don't crash. All right, coming back. Yes, good. So this is Power Query. So this is Excel, guys. Same technology. Now you can see the source and everything. I'm going to also go to View in Excel and go to the same Advanced Editor. And this time around, I'm going to just paste the code. So I'm going to delete this, paste that code that I just copied. I copied this from Power BI. Then when I say done, what should happen is it should just bring out, look at that. It just brought out exactly what I had. So it sees exactly the same language. So I created it in Power BI. I just brought the code I used to extract this data. And then now I can come to home and I can decide, you know what, I'm going to load it straight into Excel. This cleaned out data, close and load. So I can say close and load to in Excel and choose whether I want to bring that data into Excel or just leave it hanging in memory. So I can say, okay, bring it to Excel. And here I can say, I want to add it to the data model. What does that mean? The data model is Power Pivot. In Power BI, the data model is already there. Look at this is the data model. This is your data model. It's Power BI is the data model. But in Excel, Excel is such a huge big thing. I mean, there's so many things in Excel. So hey, do you want to add it to the data model and build things with Power Pivots? Maybe you say, no, I don't want to. I just want to bring it into Excel. Or yes, I want to bring it into Excel as well as add it to my data model. And your data model is Power pivot. So let's say, okay, so what's going to happen now is going to bring in the data into Excel. Power Query has got the data, cleaned it, changed it, and now is loading it and dumping it into Excel. So it's going to dump that data into Excel because that's what I told it to do, right? And once the data source changes, it will update here. Now, I won't advise that you dump data into Excel. This one is 30,000 rows, but sometimes your data is like 10 million, 100 million rows. You won't bring it into Excel. You just leave it in memory. And now I can use this to do pivot table and all the kind of cool things you know in Excel. So you can see, guys, Power BI and Excel are kind of linked, but Power BI has this PowerPoint looking canvas that allows you to bring all sorts of visuals. And once you bring all those different visuals into your report, I mean, it can bring in this map, for example, into your report. I tick revenue and I tick store. Just by ticking map, ticking revenue, and ticking store, it knows that, hey, this guy is in Nigeria, right? This data looks like Nigerian data. So let's see what it does. It's going to zoom into Nigeria if my internet can work. So if it's going to plot this in Nigeria. So let me stop this. Let me just forward it to the end and then zoom this out so you guys can see. All right. Okay. So now if I take my revenue, it's my revenue, not tooltip. I want revenue to be in my, let me click on the visual. So I have my location is store. So location is store. And then revenue. I have some things in the UK and some things in Nigeria. Zoomed into Nigeria. There we go. Interesting. So my data has both UK and Nigeria as well. Well, so that there you have it, guys. You see Power BI, very cool for visualization, visualizing data in a nice, unique way, creating quick dashboards, but the technology is the same as Excel, right? We have a live webinar or live meetup happening on Saturday. So Saturday live meetup. So you guys should try and join. And how do you join? Please, you need to join this tool. Let me quickly take you to this site. You need to join our Power BI user group. Very important. Join Power BI user group, right? So Power BI user group.com/Lagos. So that's the one for Lagos, right? I put it in bold so you can see it. Power BI user group.com/Lagos. We have live free training. My page is not working. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not Power BI user group. Sorry. It's PBI user group. Sorry, guys. I made a mistake. My bad. PBI user group, not Power BI user group. PBI. So pbiusergroup.com/Lagos, right? Join it. pbiusergroup.com/Lagos, and you see that we have a live meetup happening this Saturday. So try and join. And we're going to have live meetups every month. We call it a live labs. Yeah, we got it. Live labs starting August 17th. So make sure you join so that you can, once you join, it's free. I mean, just join for free. Become a member of the Nigeria Modern Excel and Power BI user group, and you get notifications on all these webinars we do and these live meetups. So the live meetup, you go to pbiusergroup.com/Lagos. Let me put that again for you. So you see that, pbiusergroup.com/Lagos. Yeah, make this big. Yeah, there we go. Make sure you join this. pbiusergroup.com/Lagos. And once you join for free, you get your notifications, and then you know about this live meetup, because this is only for members, guys. You only members are going to be allowed to join this meetup. And how do you become a member? It's free. Just join for free. Yeah. So we're going to have our session. The first session is going to be in Lagos, and we're going to have that in Omole phase 1. So just come here, check everything. All the details are here. Everything you need is here, right? So I'll see you guys. Well, we'll see you guys on Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this brief, short webinar. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Again, we have these webinars every third Thursday of the month. Where do you know about them? You come here as well in the community. You will see the links to the webinars, and then you'll be able to join. All right. So guys, we'll see you on Saturday, or see you next month. And don't forget to go to powerbi.com, check the guided learning, check the documentation, learn Power BI. it's worth its weight in gold. See you guys. Bye bye. Hope you enjoyed it.